Thanks for watching. If this video was helpful to you, please remember to leave a like and subscribe to my channel to see more videos like this in the future.
Hi, I'm Chris Hogg. I'm the European Business Manager for Samsung Luxury Living, and I'd like to introduce you to the wall at 292-inch diagonal.
So this is the biggest, most advanced micro LED demo in the world?
Yes. So we first showed this to the public at CES earlier this year, and we brought it to ISE to show the European market how big we can actually go with this modular micro LED screen.
What does it say here? For free technology, what does that mean?
So the idea behind the technology is that the screen is built up of a set of cabinets that are 960 by 540 pixels. They're about the size of a 38-inch TV, and we build it up as a modular screen. So each of those units is a 1K unit. This screen itself is 8 units wide by 8 units high, and it makes an 8K screen for us. The typical market application for it, we're seeing around 4K, so 4 units high, 4 units wide, around 3 meters wide, and 6K, so somewhere in between these. It takes a very special place to put something this size in it.
And you're not shy, or you're not afraid of people getting close to it. I see the barriers right here.
Yeah, it's
right?
just to make sure we don't get fingerprints on it. And
you don't want people touching it. It's not to do with the heat?
It's not to do with the heat, and it's not to do with anything other than purely keeping it clean, keeping it protected in the space.
It's not to do with people seeing the modules. Like,
no,
it's really hard to see. Where are they? Like,
that's the whole point. The whole point is that it should be difficult to see. And when you stand in front of it, it should look like a whole seamless screen.
So right here, I'm going to try to see if I can see any of them. So it looks great very close. It looks amazing to be close to it. But what's the viewing distance optimal for this?
So something this size, your viewing distance is going to go back purely because of the size of the screen. You've got to get it into a ratio where your physical eyes will see it. We have 4x4 screens, 4K screens in spaces with viewing distance of less than 3 meters.
So is micro LED totally the future? Is that what Samsung is saying, everybody's saying? When is it happening?
It's happening now, it's here. I mean, this is for sale and we're shipping them. Micro LED is a future, without a shadow of a doubt. And we showed next versions of this at CES earlier this year. Expect to see more and more of these screens coming through.
What's the other things you can say about it? Like, does it have amazing contrast? Like, blacks are totally black?
So let's talk about blacks being totally black. With a normal TV or with a projector, what you do is you put a sheet of colored pixels in front of a light, and you project the light through those colored pixels. And then what you're doing is you're actually showing, when you show a black, you turn the color off, but what you're really showing is some white light coming through. What we do with these screens is we turn the LED lights themselves off. So when we go for black, there is no light coming out from it whatsoever. What you then see on the back of that is we coat the screen with what we call a true black coating. So it's a flood-coated black coat that goes over it. The light shines through that. It does two things. It protects the LEDs, stops them getting damaged or stops them getting dust on them, but also it gives a deeper blackness to the screen. So when we turn the LEDs off, you get literally black and nothing else. Whereas with a TV screen or a projector, you're going to get white light. And that's when we talk about contrast ratios. So when you buy a TV with contrast ratios talked about, what you're actually seeing is the difference between color and black. And you have to give a ratio of it to denote how good the screen is. This, we've got color and we've got pure black. And that's why the color on this seems to pop. And if you look at the way we've got people stood back looking at this screen, it's just stopping the show.
It's the best screen in the world right now. What do you say?
For my money, yes.
And how about the colors? Because the QLEDs have amazing quantum dots. Is there any quantum dots with micro LEDs?
No, because it's different technology. Micro LED is a very, very, very different technology. So what we're doing is we're creating the color by banking up a red, a green, and a blue LED. They're located vertically, and the pixel pitch between each of those banks of colors is less than a millimeter. It's 0.8 of a millimeter apart. So we don't need to use quantum dots. We don't need to use anything like that, because what we're doing is we're actually showing you physical color from a physical LED bulb.
Is this mass transfer? Is it pick and place, or how is it made?
I would rather not discuss that on camera.
Okay, and
what we'll tell you is that the technology to build this and manufacture this is Samsung's technology, and the machinery that we use is Samsung's machinery.
So it's called a wall, and everybody pretty much has a wall at home. So
yes.
How soon can we have them as for consumer products, where people might be able to afford something that fills the whole wall?
Now, we're already shipping it. We're already putting them into both residential and into marine.
But this costs more than a house, no? What's the price? Is there a price?
Not always. No, we won't discuss price. Mainly because price is done on an individual basis. It is installed, it has to be installed as a kit because it's being modular, and every installation is slightly different.
What's the power consumption? Do you talk about this?
We're looking at around about 3 kilowatts tops for a 4K screen.
And the 8K is 4 times more? Maybe.
Probably a little bit less.
How about at one point it says something about the chipset, like an AI. Is there like a huge server behind that runs this?
So what runs this particular screen is one single media player. We call it an M-Box. And on board that M-Box we have the Samsung Quantum AI chip, which is our machine learning upscaling chip. And what this does is it will actually start to upscale from whatever input you've got up to this 8K screen. When you first run it, the image starts to grow, and you can see it over the course of a couple of hours, and the image goes from being good to amazing as the chip starts to understand what's going on with it.
And so this is diagonal?
292 inches.
292. Who's going to be the customer for this? Like an airport is going to have these, or?
So you'll see it in commercial spaces for airports and hotel lobbies. We're looking at art content in hotel lobbies. We're looking at shopping centres, and we're also looking at private individuals.
All right. So, and this is just one of the demos you have. Can you talk about 2 or 3 other things you have here?
Sure. Let's go and talk to you about the bezel-less 8K OLED screen. QLED screens.
So ISE 2020 is a very important conference for like the industrial installations, all kinds of
So what we're looking at is digital signage. We're talking about the way we would communicate, or a company would communicate their brand or their product or whatever outside of the home. And as part of that, we're now looking at these 8K screens coming through. So these are incredibly deep images with phenomenal resolution. We go right the way up to 98-inch diagonals on these screens.
Well, what are these inches? They're like, it says maybe down here, 75 inch?
These are 75, yes.
And 500 nit, it can go brighter, no?
They can go brighter, but again, that's kind of where we would run them.
And is this the same over there? The big one there? Maybe?
So what you've got sitting here is another 82-inch, I think that one is. And we deliver them in portrait and landscape.
So that's because you have a special way to mount them.
Yes, so we basically got very, very, very discrete. So the power, these two are linked by data. So we're actually sharing the data that comes through them because there's some onboard processing going on with the digital signage.
And people could be running HEVC content or something like that, compressed and not have too many issues.
They need to on it. Yeah, it's a flexible solution. I'm going to show you this as well. I think this is worthy of note. So this is a 98-inch screen. This screen actually has 4 independent HDMI inputs and allows us to then do picture-in-picture of 4 different picture-in-pictures. So in this particular application, what we're showing is a control center where you've got the CCTV being monitored in a factory environment. And it allows us to go for different layouts. So we've got this particular picture-in-picture giving us the CCTV. We've got this one giving us another shot. And I think these are a real game changer for us.
Game changer.
Yeah, and we can even go around here at these screens and go into things called DICOM simulation modes, where we're looking at medical processing for medical education and medical training.
So this is 8K?
This is 8K again.
And a really big one, 98
inch.
You're not talking about prices for these?
I'm not talking about prices for these because again, it's dependent on territory. And
do they eventually come with HDMI 2.1 connection so you can have the 8K signal in just one cable, right?
That I believe is true. That's not my product area. So.
Okay. And there's many other things around here. What are the people looking at around here? Flip and
Flip is really cool. Flip is our interactive teamwork sharing device. Think of it almost as a digital flip chart. It's it's one of the coolest things we do. And at the show, we've just launched a collaboration with Cisco for teamwork and for sharing content across multiple things. So Cisco WebEx. And they're actually running a demo right now where they're showing the products that joined up. We've got 4 independent offices. They could be anywhere in the world. And the screen will then work as either a video conferencing, or we can then add to the video conferencing and we can put on the whiteboard. So you could be sitting in one office in the US and one office in Europe, and both people can be sharing and writing on the same flip chart.
And can maybe have 4K video, webcams and stuff?
Correct.
With the camera as?
Correct. So the camera's sitting on the top here with the Cisco product.
All right. And what's happening there?
Right. So this is just a standalone flip, and it is literally what we say it is. So it's a digital flip chart. So I have a pen, and on my pen I can literally just start writing. Point 1. If I want to change the color, I can change the color. If I want to change the thickness, I can change the thickness, and that is to discuss. Whatever. Yep. If I've got an item I want to highlight, I can highlight it up. And I want to rub it up because I can't spell discuss.
So it's the Samsung system?
This is a Samsung system, and it's not just as a
not based on
landscape.
Windows or Android.
No, this runs Samsung all behind it, so it's our own software.
And you were mirroring everything on this big display there?
Yes. That's done as part of the solution that we can do with it.
All right.
The last thing I'm going to show you,
Yeah.
because this is really cool, is back into the LED signage area. So where we're talking about putting these big LED screens out, we've now got a product that we can curve. This is quite radical. So I can get convex and concave curves across the screen.
Whoa.
And we can even go into doing things like this we've got in the ceiling.
Whoa. So this is LED that are kind of curved. How do you curve them?
So if you come back here, you'll see they're individual straight panels, and then we're literally able to put them at certain angles. So it's not a pure curve. It's actually a curve that's built up of multiple facets.
Nice.
This roof one, and this is the thought I'll leave you with.
Yeah.
We've been winning awards this year for a project we did with a cruise line company, and we put a 30-meter run of curved screens across the length of the cruise liner, and we've literally gone the whole way with a movable, colourful roof.
Nice. So busy show for you here, the ISE 2020.
Exceptionally busy. ISE 2020 has been significantly busier than we expected it to be with some of the challenges we faced.
With the wind.
With the
People
wind.
having trouble landing.
Yeah, my plane landed sideways. It was quite fun.
All right.
There we go.